Samsung is about to unveil a Z Fold 6 Special Edition handset that will be extraordinarily thin by company standards. And we've just been treated to two new photographs of the impending handset, one of the genuine thing. The thinnest Z Fold, called the Special Edition Foldable of Samsung, is slated to go up for pre-order on October 18 and stay up until October 25, in a very usual Friday-to-Friday launch plan. One big criticism Samsung fans have about the company's foldable phones, apart from the fact that their spec sheets are sometimes outmatched by the competition, is that Samsung hasn't done enough to make them seem undetectable to the eye. Foldable phones feature displays that, well, fold, and thus they have a crease running down or across the middle that can be annoying, both visually and physically. Making the crease completely undetectable is a fool's errand, but Chinese makers have done a superb job at making it as supple and unobtrusive as possible. Samsung, on the other hand, hasn't exhibited the same commitment in that aspect. It chose to make minor improvements each year that weren't worth writing home about. It was only with the Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 this year that Samsung made a big change. The crease on the Fold 6 and Flip 6 is impossible to miss while the display is off. But when it's turned on, the wrinkle on the 2024 versions is substantially less reflecting. Thanks to some under-the-hood adjustments, it's also less perceptible to the touch when your finger glides across the middle of the screen. Fold 6 Special Edition Fold may be least distracting implementation yet, and it seems Samsung isn't done. According to a tipster with an exceptional track record, the Samsung has done a good job in crease control, better than ever on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Special Edition that's planned to come somewhere before the end of the year. The tipster doesn't go into additional detail or tell about how Samsung has achieved the so-called wrinkle control, but their wording suggests the modifications to the crease will not be trivial. Of course, some who bought a Z Fold 6 may not appreciate the concept of a special variation coming out so soon after the main model and will ask why Samsung didn't put some of the changes and enhancements on that regular model. Fans will also be frustrated that the Fold 6 Special Edition won't even be offered in most places. But hey, it is what it is. We're just thrilled Samsung is finally focusing on resolving a number of the drawbacks of previous Z Fold devices, such the less than stellar camera specs, instead of turning a blind eye to consumer criticism. Samsung is anticipated to introduce a thinner and better equipped version of the Galaxy Z Fold 6 later this year. Ahead of the unveiling, the image of the Z Fold Special Edition was leaked a few weeks ago. Now, a recent leaked image of the phone displays its rear-facing camera configuration. Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition camera arrangement features a distinct design. While it was already announced that the Z Fold Special Edition will have a triple camera configuration, it wasn't clear if Samsung would employ the same cameras or the camera design and layout. A fresh photograph supplied by Even Glass gets us a closer look at the Z Fold Special Edition's rear-facing camera design. The phone includes 3 rear-facing cameras, each with a black surrounding ring raised above the rest of the surface. All those cameras are put inside a camera housing that appears identical to the Galaxy S20's. It was claimed that the Z Fold Special Edition will contain a 200 megapixels primary rear camera, a 12 megapixels ultra-wide camera, and a 10 megapixels telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. A previously released image of the gadget featured a brushed metal appearance on the back, which could suggest a titanium material. But nothing can be proven as of now. The phone will presumably include a 6.4-inch cover screen, an 8-inch inner folding screen, and a bigger battery. It will employ the newest Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy processor with 16 gigs RAM. Looking at it, there's little doubt that this is a Galaxy Z Fold phone. Externally, it appears more or less identical to current releases, but squares the corners to make it look and feel more like a book. Samsung also trimmed up the design by a full millimeter but claimed it didn't swap up the camera technology for something more powerful, since it wants to focus on this being the thinnest Z Fold possible. As expected, Samsung debuted the phone with Galaxy AI packed inside, powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy CPU. This includes all the helpful note-taking tools from the Galaxy S24 Ultra, plus a few new ones suited to the Z Fold's larger display. Our Galaxy Z Fold 6 review takes a deeper look at what this new foldable delivers while offering some insight as to whether you should buy one. After being revealed at Galaxy Unpacked on July 10, 2024, the Z Fold 6 officially hit shop shelves on July 24. The base model ships with 256 gigs of storage and sells at $1,899. Upgrading to the 512 gigs model will cost you $1,999, and 1 terabytes of storage pushes the price up to $2,099. All versions ship with 12 gigabytes of RAM regardless of storage size. Samsung.com buyers also have the choice of 2 more colorways: Crafted Black, which appears like the phone has carbon fiber on the back, and white. The Z Fold 6 is sold in 3 main hues everywhere else, including Silver Shadow, Pink, and Navy. Phones purchased through your carrier of choice in the US will include 1 year of Samsung Care Plus for free. A Korean vendor appears to have revealed the pre-order and release dates for the forthcoming Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition. Older speculations had suggested that the phone would go on sale in Korea on September 25, but as we all know, that didn't come to pass. However, here's when the phone will purportedly become available for pre-order in Korea, at least according to one source. Korean retailer T-Store has put up a banner advertising the Galaxy Fold 6 Special Edition. Odd name, but from what we can discern, this phone could be ready for pre-order in Korea on October 18. The pre-order period will reportedly expire on October 24, and the device will be delivered starting on October 25. In my perspective, the whole idea of a phone with limited availability is to use it as a show of force and to push technological frontiers, especially if it means taking risks you otherwise would not take with a phone designed for a widespread global release. I absolutely get why Samsung plays the safe game with its mainstream Z Flip and Z Fold lineups. These have been the most popular foldable phones globally for years, and I can understand why Samsung does all it can to prevent launching a flop with durability issues en masse. The foldable market is still evolving, and the last thing Samsung wants is to utilize a mass production phone with global reach as a testbed for new and untested technologies that pose too high of a risk of failure. It can't afford to take that risk as a market leader, especially after working so hard to build confidence in prospective foldable phone users with worries relating to durability. So, in its wisdom, Samsung chose to polish its mainstream foldable phones year after year instead of taking enormous leaps. But this gets me back to my original issue with the forthcoming Z Fold Special Edition. A phone with such a limited availability is intended to be brave and take chances. It's expected to perform what the mainstream Galaxy Z Fold can't do in its position. And since the Special Edition phone doesn't seem to be doing any of that, at least based on leaks, well, I fail to comprehend its purpose. Not only does it look unambitious, but it will be at risk of upsetting Galaxy Z Fold 6 purchasers in those few areas where the SE Foldable will be on sale. And while it may cost even more than the standard Fold 6, it seems a bit crazy to suppose that Samsung's primary objective is to make a quick cash by releasing this product with extremely limited availability. So what does Samsung plan to get out of this phone, if money and bragging rights aren't it? Unfortunately, I don't have the answer. No matter how I look at it, I fail to see why Samsung would want to offer this phone in this manner this time of year. Worst of all, for a special edition phone, I'm afraid it could fail to grab people's imagination more than other geographically constrained foldable handsets from other manufacturers, such as the Huawei Mate XT Ultimate. In a way, the Z Fold Special Edition seems like the safe sequel the Z Fold 6 might have gotten next summer, and not a limited run phone that doesn't appear inventive enough. It's almost like a hybrid only Samsung understands, if that. It may be an experimental technology that plays it too safe, but in my perspective, that defeats the idea of being experimental. It seems to lack daring and liveliness, and I don't comprehend it. Who knows? Maybe I'm incorrect, or the leaks don't tell the complete story. Perhaps the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition will make perfect sense once it goes on sale, and I hope it does. Maybe it has some unknown tricks in its sleeve that will blow our heads, but until we see any proof of it, I'll keep doubting this phone's purpose, especially in a market arena where Samsung's rivals have become more aggressive and increasingly innovative. I'm definitely looking forward to watching how Samsung will try to promote this phone to prospective users in the few areas it will reportedly be available. Perhaps a full design story could provide some much-needed answers as to what role the Z Fold Special Edition is planned to occupy in the current foldable phone scene and Samsung's own portfolio. I'm praying for the best. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more tech news and updates. And we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.